Alright, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and I don't really have a theme for today's message, so let's just get one out. But I will be talking about some things today, so I guess if there's a theme behind it, we'll see. But if I had to name the theme, I would have to say this is a reading about the self. So let's talk about it. Alright. This is Noisy Beats, Jaded, R&B type beat, Bryson Tiller, a bunch of other people. So, I want to talk to y'all about helping me out. I am reaching out because I need some help. And this help that I need, man, is the help of you. I need you to help yourself with this new model that I got for you. So, ultimately, it's trying to help you understand yourself. And this is giving you a toolkit so you can talk to yourself in your different versions. And then we can go further by looking at things like humility. And then we can take it a step further and check it out through what I call personality. It's shown through the DISC, or DISC personality. That's what I like. That's what I operate through. And I feel like that is how we can see a more complete version of ourselves. And so I want to help more people see themselves. So I need your help. I need your help. So I need you to help me out. Use this stuff that's free. Let me know. Talk about it. Share it. Ask, come talk with me. Send me the places where you would like me to talk. I need your help. So let's see how we can help the self. How can we help ourselves? So, we can go ahead and move away. We can move from the past things. We can resurrect on some new lanes. Emotional waves, that's what we do. But we just sitting here, smooth sailing. But now I got a whole version of me. I got all of me. I'm taking action, carrying all of me. Providing, the masculine providing. Providing for who? The mother and child. Got the boat, got the resources, got the ability, got the efforts. It's all here. But you are there supporting. You are there experiencing. We are here. And so how do we help ourselves? It's by stepping into transformation. It's stepping into a new. Stepping into the idea that things can pass. This is perfect because this is directly related to what I was already describing. This is the self divided. I now have divided myself or the experience of someone I love or something, and it has now two versions. It was here, and now it's not. But not has two different ways to view it. That's not after, and then that's not before. So the model that I present, which is called the Z9 continuum, it's 09 continuum, and it's pretty much a means of helping us see the recursive states of who we are. And because we are always living life, that means we're recursing or going back through cycles of death and rebirth. I want to see what's behind this card so we can start to see what's actually going down. And what I'm saying is, when we go down and we go into depth, there is life that happens afterwards. But I want you to take note that there are things that do not bow or fall towards death. And these are the things of the self that are retained but are normally pushed to the side or shoved into a box it doesn't fit into, because with traditional means of helping yourself and mental health and therapies and behavioral changes and, just being a better human, that is always pushing the ego to the side. And what this allows us to do, the Z9 continuum, is to allow your ego to stay intact, is just to redirect the role. So instead of thinking that I can't be me and operate like this, I want to be able to show you what you can manifest into next. So if you're a strong external energy, very masculine energy, as we would say, you are more likely a C personality, or a C personality or a D personality. But there is another factor of how you show that to the world. And so this is the subcategory aspect, which it could be any of the three. No matter what version of the D personality type that you are, you can kill the DD version of it, the full-fledged 100% version of that, and then you can be reborn as a DI, a DS, or a DC. In other words, it's going to allow you to see how other versions of yourself operate just slightly differently. And the reason that's important is because it allows you to see that it's still just you. So you don't lose confidence going into areas for change, opposed to how people form it, which is you as a victim. Now this is reframing our mindset as not just being a victim. I'm a coach to victim parts of me, and then I'm a learner from victim parts of me. I'm more, because as a therapist, as a coach, as a teacher, as a parent, we have to receive information. So I got to do two things. And this is what the Z9 continuum allows us to do. It allows us to see how we can be all of these things at once. And the first way we should be able to understand that this is called the Six of Swords. That's what this card is called. That helps us see all the different aspects of who we are when we choose to be. So let's see what's behind this Death card. Responsibility. Again, 10 card right here doesn't show these are things that you do and they're burdensome. Again, people want discipline. People need discipline. People want routine. They want to do stuff. So if this is just me doing stuff, that can be you doing stuff that is good for you. But because it's paired with the Death, the Life card is the responsibilities of what you want to do next. And so when these two cards are paired together with this as our overall energy, this is telling us that we're moving towards new responsibilities, ones that can stand up to death, which is time. Let me change this song real quick because I want to play another banger for us. Let's see. Okay, let's get some more clarity. Hot. Made a breeze to come through her, man. Alright, get some clarity. Let's talk about what does the self need help. I want to just say where are we moving from, but I want you to understand I'm talking about it in a way to where you can see a multitude of yourself. I don't care if it's age, I don't care if it's the area, I don't care if it's with your friends versus here, and then at your job, you as a grown adult with your parent who's also grown, but you're still a kid. Who are you moving from? Which ego is dying, but which ego is being maintained? What new boundaries have you put up, and what are you moving away from so this self can be detoxified and move forward with life? Smooth sailing, in other words, balanced. Let's see what we're moving from the past. We're moving from our intuition. Oh, that's birth from judgment. So you're moving from the judgment of your intuition. If I had to be involved in this I would say something like this. The Z9 continuum is me following my intuition on all the things that I know and love. And I remember when I was given this and what I'm doing a long time ago at the very beginning of my spiritual journey. And it was still from this pre-sensation, these pre-feelings of intuition that I was moving my life through already. But as we're living life through life as children, things are happening, and this is the developmental pathway that I connect these things through, which is so important because different parts of us are going to be carried into the future, which is the purpose of this card. By us even showing this, it's allowing us to see that there's multitudes of us moving forward as a we. So when I include myself in this situation, and I'm telling you how the things that I have done as a kid are still being done now, those things did not evolve through all of these death and rebirth transformations into an adult. It's still a child. So because of that, you got to understand the context of that child, and there are mature sides and then there's immature sides. But on the immature side, there can be two more ways to view the immaturity. That's just a low version of a mature thing that just hasn't been cultivated in a person, nurtured, in other words. Or you can say, oh, this is something like an inhibitor, something that has been damaged and it has purposely been drained or low or have no power, but it's trying to operate. It's stuttering kind of thing. So it is looking at all the judgments that you have experienced from having this, and you're moving forward. We're sailing away from the judgments of, let's say, like me, following my intuition, getting into situations that was traumatic, blah, 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 all the shit that we all go through. No matter how the obstacle comes up, it's still just the obstacle, and we all go through the same obstacles. And then when we reach a certain threshold, presence is what we call this, or the number one in the Z9 theory, or model, I should really say. Once we reach a certain level of presence, then we revert back to now using all of those different experiences that we've gained in the same area. And so because there are different levels, it's going to force different recipes upon our own personalities, which means we should know how to see ourselves as we're going through these different versions of what we could express ourselves as. In other words, I can be my D and my S major personality type, but then I can use Z9 to where I can start to see how I am also a DC and a DI as well as a DD. There's times and places where I need all my dominant energy, even though most of the time I want to be a person who is conscious about my actions, the DC aspect. And so, or you might be the DI who wants to nurture actions in people, but sometimes you need to steady, or DS, steady your own actions as an example for others. So it's allowing you to keep it in context of action, but it's allowing you to see how different versions of you can take action by looking at different versions of action being taken in a context that you can understand. This is us moving from contexts that you understood but others did not. And so where are we moving towards? Again, it's judgment. So that's everything. The final verdict. That's what the judgment is. So let's see what we're moving towards. So we're moving to okay. So I was going to say we're moving towards the tower. We move from here into the tower, but this tower, oh yeah, baby. All right. So I'm so happy I looked at the bottom too. Let me get the music going. Let me get a song playing. Can't see my code. Ooh, no point of it being a code. Oh, I love this song. Not this song, but the song coming up.
Need to restock your pantry? Shop the Fry's app for the same great in-store prices and quality. So,
yeah. That's perfect fucking sound for this tower explanation. Alright, let's talk about it. Yeah. Like, this should just be happening. It's magic. So I just wanna talk about this little tower moment. So I'm just about to go ahead and flow up on it. But before that, I'm just gonna tell you what I do. And then I bring this tones on this dude, Mr. Banu. I'm doing my do, I'm making sure my magic's cool, so you can see me making moves, so you can see my selling. Making these moves, I'm just a moving beyond these towers that be going. What kaboom up on the scenery. I'm just a doing what I feel is me, I'm loving me. And all the versions of this he, so I don't care what state or what goes, I'm just a building any lane when I'm in the lane today, hey. And so I just represent me any which way I see me, whether that's cups or air with the swords. What do you see? Or maybe it's pentacles, or maybe it's just the flame. It's just as me as the magician in my own lane. So for those who don't speak rap, this here is saying that because you now can see yourself in the context of a multitude of that deep personality type, you are the magician. Now you can exude a different form of you, which is saying that it's one thing housing four things. It's one thing housing four things. And because that is contained now, it don't matter where you go, which is the environment, you're going to have the masculine energy, you're going to have the Father, the Son, and the Mother, which is the Holy Ghost, right? You're going to have that aspect. This is a gluon, these are electrons, and this is the quark in quantum mechanics, which is based upon us being zeros. Nobody see this shit, but we know it exists. And because we know it exists, but we don't see it, but we live it, and it has to exist for us to do it, we just don't account for it. And we continuously not account for it until we can see the present of it not accounting. In other words, that death card that happened initially to our intuition, it's met with, oh, that's okay. The intuition never dies. The energy never dies. It's just rebuilt. So if it was this way, it would be things falling down, right? But if it was this way, how could it not be things still falling down? It's just depending on the relationship to what's falling. There's a book that I love when I was in, I want to say, second grade. I forgot the first name, but I read it again when I was in school and as a teacher, and it was called Falling Up. And this concept of falling up is expressed with this tower going down. So people like to liken this to be, lighter or coming out of the tower. No! See this shit for face value. And so the idea is, if these are foundational structures falling, these must be foundational structures falling as well. And they are. These are just things that are not seen in the world, aka foundational structures falling from your intuition. In other words, the judgments that are being placed upon you and programmed within those different developmental stages of your own personality, they are now being able to be accessed and altered and changed because you understand the Z9 theory allows you to model yourself through your own restful states, or what we call tower moments. That's why it's not here or here. It is you in the middle, sitting in between foundations that are crumbling in the physical world and foundations that are crumbling in the spiritual world. Now you understand why you're in this transitional state. But what this is called is the number 9. When this card here operates in this translational state, when you have the Z9 theory applied, 0 is one end, 1 is the other, and this is what we call a binary system. But when you're here, you're not here, and you're not here. You're not 1, you're not 0. The idea now must be, okay, there must be some third point of view. The third point of view is the number 9, which is the future aspect of what could be, which is what we're sailing to. So it's wonderful that you already understand at this moment right now, because I'm telling you, that this here is you as the magician being able to bring judgments to yourself, which will allow you to bring life of another version of yourself. So you don't have to be inauthentic when you're expressing different forms of yourself, because now you understand that other form of expression a lot more. So then you give more grace to that dominant expression. So if I'm a DC and then I'm practicing being a DS because I need more stability in my mindset or what I take action on, when I take action on, then I have to start to pay attention to the separate aspect, which is what I don't take action on. And what I don't take action on is the things that I already have recursed as a part of myself. But guess what? If I jump outside and start interacting with, let's say, S first, then D dominant people, I might learn something. And that's the other side. And I don't have to lose my ego because now I know where to look. But then, of course, it takes talking, but you can talk now with the behaviors. So let's see what behaviors people are using to manifest their world by the things that they're destroying on the physical side, the things that they're destroying on the what we call ethereal side, because it's the energy. It's not, you're not destroying spirit, but it's the energetic body or the nine form that is being presented as nothing, but this nothingness is just an imaginary form that once was or could be. And because it's two different ways, you have two different imaginaries, but they're still being derived from what could be. So this is just the idea of a -1, but the -1 in math is equal to what we call imaginary complex figures. It's only complex as it's dealing with a lot of things that are not existing, things that are crumbling and crumbling in two different ways, while things are building and building in two different ways. So it's a lot of shit happening, but it's not enough to make it one thing versus another, so it kind of cancels itself out. And so now this is why a subcategory is just a subcategory. All of that shit that is different can just be categorized as one thing superior. That is the idea of us being on a hierarchy or a food chain, you know. But the idea is that was what our intuition was in the past. So now we're here in the future, and we're looking at ways where our intuition helps us build things and destroy things on two different sides of the world, two different sides of the world, two different sides of how we apply it. We're moving towards what? What are we about to step into? Let's get a song for that. Probably need to drink some motherfucking water too. This song is called Time Flies, and time has probably been flying with this reading. Oh man. So that breeze didn't come by like I was asking it for, you know, to do. So we'll do that. Try to coax some more air in this bitch. Look, starting to glisten. So we got the magician at the bottom because we are that motherfucker, and we are that motherfucker because we went to Soul Inspiration and we picked up the free This Personality Guide for you and yourself and your other selves. And then you was like, man, because I want to learn about myself a little bit more, you was like, I'm going to get the free personalized this compound book I can see, and it's free. So go ahead and pick that up, man. The link is in the description box, and I'm saying that because I need the help, remember? So it's here. So if you here and you've been fucking with what I'm saying, please go help me by helping you, because that's how we help each other. Now you got things to share with people, and again, it's what people say with me now. It's free. Why? Because it's important to me. So what are we stepping into? That's built from what? This is built from the traumas of what was destroyed in the past being the one thing that comes and makes you into the future. This is why I try to tell kids when I was teaching, there is no such thing called the number 10. This here is the number 10, but this here is the number 1. These two things are built from each other. The only thing that should exist, according to our current binary system, is the number 1. There's no such thing as a 0 and a 1 together. It's either or. But I have taught you this today, that the way that this pops up is you don't see it as a 10, you don't see it as a 1, you see it as the number 9. Because these two things over here, double state, ain't no way you can be a 1 and a 0. The light can't be on and off at the same time, right? That's what this is representing. You can't be ashamed and guilty and feel like you're not autonomous, or you can't build, or you don't have purpose, or you don't have the will. You can't feel that way any longer just because you got intuition. And so just because your intuition wasn't learned and maybe you didn't follow it correctly, or maybe you listened to some intuition of something that wasn't a part of you, a program, no matter what put you here, you realize that I'm in a state that doesn't exist anymore, aka death card. So when we're in this null state, you now have you're stepping into the understanding of you can always manifest a new presence as a 1. But what I'm telling you now is you're not one thing. That's the one personality type that can now come in the form as DD, DI, DS, or DC. You can have now one thing that presents itself in a multitude, 4 to be exact, because 2 parts of the tower is falling in the heavens and on the earth, and then 2 parts of the tower is being built in the heavens and on the earth. That's 4 different things happening at once, and this shows you that because it's in a looping sequence. Here's 1, here's 0, but in order to have what we call the next one, it goes right back to 1. And so 1 card, but let's look at the numbers. Here's literally the number 1 with an infinity. If you don't know that number, that's a symbol. Infinity, that's a number. So the 1 is an infinity now. Over here, the tower moment is what? This is the card number 16. But the card number 16 breaks down to a 7. So anytime you see this, it's always a divine moment. That's why it is a major card. But more so than that, the 7 bridge, we're at the number 8 right now. What do we have here? We have the High Priestess, which is another major card. Oh, these are all majors. Look at that. So I'm not lying. This here is 2. 2 plus what? 8 gives you what? 10. But again, that's binary, because 10 was 1 plus 0. It goes back down to 1. So again, this here is just telling you one thing is existing. It's just one thing that is existing. But I have now taught you that because this one thing doesn't exist by itself, it's not just one thing of one thing. Look at all the different swords. Again, so if I'm not the number 0, right? Because 0 means I have nothing. And then I'm the number 1. That gives you 9. If you have a 10 minus 1, gives you 9. But Z9, it helps us to understand that I can have a multitude of different zeros, which is why 1 can equal 1, or 9 can equal 1 as well. The point of that is because I can be 9 of these individual swords before I get put into the dirt with the 10th one. But when I get put into the dirt with the 10th one, I rise again as the single one, but the single one is of the all ones. So this is the master of all the aces. And so because I can start anything at one point, if I ever get to a 10 again, what does that tell you? I've restarted at 1, or I can do all 9 things. There's only 9 spaces in between. But because it's always started from a point of this, which is a space with 1, We had the 10 of wands, which is all the actions I'm taking, right? But that's with a space with one. That's helping us to see it's the choices that we're making for ourselves now that we're stepping into. We're smooth sailing into the steps of us being in power. Power. Let's get some clarity, because I feel like we should. Clarity cards for each. Clarity cards for these. Seeing what these mages feel like on the sub-scene. These are the major points of view. Personality D, but you got ISC too. So let's see, personality. It's not really personality, it's the self. Again, I want you to go learn about yourself. So let's see some clarity. Subcategory of these sceneries. Oh shit. That's crazy. That makes I feel that. So I feel like this card's, I feel like all the elements are going to come out, which is why you're going to be able to present them. And we'll get one more for this, okay? I knew it, bro. I'm telling you. All the elements will come through. But look, that's beautiful. Judgments here. So I'm hearing new judgments being called, man. That's it. New judgments are being called. Alright, so let's talk about it. When we're looking at this, I love this song too. So, when we're looking at this, we already got to see some of these face-up cards. So we're going to talk about them first. With our overall energy, what we're moving towards is what? Smooth sailing, but it's the 6 card. 6 plus 3 gives you what, people? Gives you 9. So the Z9 has now allowed you to see yourself as 3 bodies of different emotions. But because they're in collaboration, 3 times 3 is 9. Again, I got 3 in the I, 3 in the S, and then 3 inside of the C. But then I also have a reflection. CC, SS, II, DD. So because of that, I have to see that there's just a reflection of 3 being presented to me. And that's what this is showing us. Now, I have the emotional capacity to be all of those things, which is, again, what you're stepping into. But this is why this card came out. You have the emotional judgment calls that has been established in your life that you've exchanged with yourself. Again, I just represented as 3 people. It doesn't matter which of those 3, but we're claiming those 3 versions to be ourselves. A youthful version, a more mature version in the male form, a more mature version in the feminine form, and both of those things can scale up to older or more mature, but then it happens in steps or phases. And so now we can see how we can emotionally section ourselves off. Here's our youthful block of 3, here's our masculine block of 3, and our feminine block of 3 at the same time as a package of 6, half a dozen. And then I can say, oh, here's these 6, and they go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4, but all of those things are recursed or reflected back in that original 3, aka the children inside, the child inside of both of them, or the children inside of both of them. That original core 3 in the man, and that original core 3 in the woman. So then when you package it up like that half dozen and you take it from scale to scale to scale, those cores are going to alter, but those things are being maintained by an overall understanding of exchange, which is these waters between these 3 cups now. So now the waters that are shaking below, they're now able to be transverse because you got a boat or a vessel or a vassal or a cup, and now you can carry different versions of you. Here's the three versions of you. You can carry different energies within you. All different drinks. Fucked up. All different drinks within these cups. All different thoughts. All different thoughts about these cups and drinking and sharing and being abundant with one another. But they're still all in one action. They're still taking one action. They're still choosing one action. All of these things are taking action. The raising. So, again, this is coming up and it's showing us how we're stepping into the ability to manage different tiers of our emotional states, which is allowing us to see multiple developmental versions of us, and then that allows us to continue to smooth sail over any emotions of the future with our intuition and magic intact. Wonderful. How did your magic come to be? Well, look at this. This is clear to me. This is very clear to me. What has been crumbling? Well, constantly crumbling is the foundation of who you are in the physical world and the building up of who you are in a non-physical world. So as your physical world crumbles with your family, your spiritual world is being built up grander. On this side, all the physical understanding of what you know, how to behave, your morals, your values, your behaviors, your thoughts, all programs, those things in the physical world were destroying you. And in that destruction, those things destroyed you. But then on the spiritual side, those may have been some of the things that have been destroying you on the physical side. So what do? You incorporate different swords or thoughts, and when you build those things up, you get built up from the swords on the physical. So your thoughts and your energies is what brings you back to life when you are crushed by the non-physical conditions of your family. The energetic and spiritual conditions placed upon your generation is what is killing us, which has probably put you on this pathway to this spiritual development. But as you've learned more, as you've built up your ethereal family, ethereal allows us to just house bodies as the number 9, and so I can do this exchange thing or this trigonometry thing or this triangle thing or this quark exchange thing. We can see that these things can be built and they can be destroyed. And because of that, I can build up my family, I can build up my thoughts, and I can destroy thoughts, and I can destroy core parts of me generationally or for my family. So this is helping us see why the magic is here. The magic is here because this 10 and this 10, it doesn't change this 7. All it does is just turn it into a 9. But the 9 is now being displayed. Again, this is math, people. This is why I like teaching math. But it helps you see because of the numbers that we are exuding right now. So again, 10 and a 10 gives you 20, right? 2. But there's no such thing as a 2. It's just a 1 and a 1. But then if you consider it to be a 2, 2 plus 7 gives you 9. And so because that's just 9, or the spaces in between one thing and then another thing, this thing has no space and this one does. But I have to show you that by going through the stages. And so these are the stages of development that you as a personality, as a self, are shifting to. So guess what? Let's take a deeper look. Alright, so I'm called to go here first before we go there. So let's clarify the magician. The star. Okay. We got the star card being clarified with the magician card, bro. So, can y'all believe me? None of these videos be going as far as I be hoping they be go, but hey, just keep pushing right, and the right people will see it with the right time. You know, I believe that. I know that to be true. I know that to be true because this shit is just so good. It's just so needed. I just hear so many people talk about it, but I done talked about it already. I done thought about it already. I done already built models for you already because I've been seeing it already. And for me, this is my star energy coming out, but I need your help, right? right? So that is the real star coming out in me, because I think that's the magic. I can't do it by myself because I can't be all other versions by myself. I can only be partial forms of other people. So if I have a team and I'm the D personality type, and I got a team with the I personality type, I got a teammate with the S, and I got a teammate with the C, what matters now is the expression of the energy. It doesn't matter if it's in the man body or the woman body. Is this personality type more masculine expression or more feminine? Once we can understand those two things, then we can start to see the subtype of it and how it relates together as the team. But me as the D personality type, I can never be the S. I can only subcategory act like the S, and that is based upon my limit, based upon what I've built within me, the stages I've been through. So your stardom shines based upon the stardom that you have at each level you progress through. But we're progressing through it, and now we're seeing that we can move through any of the levels, and now that's allowing us to be the magician. And we can shine this magic as any version of ourselves, and we can learn how to incorporate more so we can grow. And that's the whole thing. I'm nurturing both my water and my earthly side, my heavenly side and my earthly side. But that's the tower. You're causing towers to both sides. That is the magic, because your ancestors are helping you. So you got to manifest what is not known, but they support you with what is unknown to you. So when you manifest from ground zero, like we say in the ZPC model, when you manifest from nothingness into somethingness, the manifestation process is happening over a course of 9. And when you can understand, when you reach the 9, you've understand the point of reflection with whatever you multiplied or applied yourself to be. Multiplied or applied. That is important to know the difference, because one is a slower cycle that is repetitive, that might look different. One is a faster that might be repetitive and still look different. So sometimes you might have to recurse and not multiply and add, but subtract and divide away so you can smooth away and sail to your freedoms. How can you do this? Because again, we were judged upon the things that we move upon, our intuition, our movements that we're so confident now. What makes us this way? Because we were judged in the past for this energy. But now it's the energy that makes us who we are. We're shining bright. We're the stars. Us as chosen. So we're here, chosen, but we're shining, and we're doing these things because we're shining within at different stages of within. Why? Why was this judged so harshly to where we had to destroy on not just the earthly plane, but on the spiritualist world? We had to break programs inside of us as we were broken by the world around us. Damn. So let's see, what was the clarity behind that? What did people see about us that we couldn't see from ourselves because we were sitting in the middle? It wasn't even us. God damn. So, bro, I just want to say something real quick. I wanted to get clear on this, and I said, let's get some clarity, and let's see what is the micro side. This here is a major, that is a major, but these two being the most of the minor, that shit is a young adult. This is an 18-year-old kid. We know they're kids still, but they're technically grown. That's what these two tens are. So all of this is mature energy. But I want to show you something. If this is the masculine energy and this is the feminine energy, or if this is the feminine energy and this is the masculine energy, I said that. If this is the feminine energy and this is the masculine energy, and this is the masculine energy and this is the feminine energy, oh, I said that too. Oh, notice how I did that twice, and I did that twice on purpose. The reason why I did that twice on purpose is so you can see this on the world. The world is built up of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you have to see this card now, it's because the 4 worlds on the outside has already been in you as a singularity. That means you've already been exuding this energy through this energy, so you've been seen as this side or that side because you can manifest from both sides. But because you actually are manifesting from 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know if you really saw that. 1, here's the 2, there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2. There's 4 sides of 2. And so because people have only thought you were this, or this, or this, or this, you're actually both sides of those things. You're both sides of those things. So that is why you were judged. You were judged for your intuition because of the simple fact that you had judgments on both sides of the coin. You were balanced as a child, or as your intuition was growing. Well, that's what the childlike energy is your intuition. This childlike energy, again, I didn't say it's children, I said childlike energy. The childlike energy that sits in the middle because it's learning from all things is a baby in the most feminine energy. It's the X before you get to the XX or the XY. It's that primary function of that base core, what we call chromosome. Chromosome is just encoded, encrypted DNA into a specific mannerism that is built in a similar hard drive or similar storage board. Everybody got a USB. That's the energy that I'm talking about, but that USB can have different levels and processing and do different shit. Still just a USB. That's that childlike energy that sits in the middle as what we call intuition. But the intuition of the world, that means that intuition is connected with different personality types of the world, regardless of who you are and what type you express. So that's like that's what the number 9 is, because no matter what it reflects upon, it either reflects upon itself or some version of itself, or it holds space for what was and reflects it. And so because this principality happens when we're doing our arithmetic, again, it's just basic math. It's nothing super complicated or far-reaching. We use this to teach kids in the classroom. So I'm not saying anything like spectacular, but it's just how you're understanding this information. And that's the difference between you being of the world, but then being not in the world. Oh, but also being in the world, but not of the world. It's a dynamic of both, because that is what we're looking at. And when we're looking at what was judged, we don't know if it was this. We don't know what actually was judged. And so because the intuition wasn't understood collectively enough, now you got teachers like me who can really get down and show you why. Again, I didn't ask, give me a collective of this. I said, what do we need to know? And then my ancestors was like, oh, let's talk about the self. And then I still didn't even know. And then I'm telling you about the shit that I've been working on behind the scenes that's available and free. Get it, it's free. Get it, it's free. It's free. Go learn about you like a library, because this shit is free. Anyways, I'm here because I'm trying to show you that the world has already prepared for you. You are here as the magician now, but the world is here for you just as much as it wasn't before, but you got a safety zone within yourself. You know how to balance and nurture the physical you and the non-physical you. And you're still learning to do that, and that's because it's more of you becoming more parts of you during this construction process. So you don't ever find balance in anything that stays put. You don't ever find balance in anything in the space that stays put. You find balance in building bridges. I don't care where I'm going. I know I can build a bridge from here to there. Wow. Wow. No, yeah, about to close out. Whoa, just to be in me, just to be in free to use my voice, understanding it be so divine, it's so divine about it, but nope, it's just for you, the one who loved the sound of who, Mr. Renew. I love this song. Yeah, that's why I had a rap to it, and it's talking about you, or me, and how you listening to me helps you. Woo, smooth sailing. So let's go ahead and get a final message before we get out of here, man, because it's been a little while. But I've been feeling like this shit was great for us. So let's go ahead and get a little something on our way out. Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Another 10. There's another 10. There's another one right there, man. Look at that shit. Look at that. Look at that. That's a 20 plus a 10 is a 30. Look at that. 10, 20, 30. This 3 aspect here, again, it's here. But 3 plus 3 gives you 6, or 3 times 3 gives you 9. But 3 squared also gives you 9, and that helps you see this. It's 2 of the same, so you can add the 3's, and you can multiply the 3's, or you can see this as just a 3, because, oh, you got a bridge between the 2 3's, and this is called a square. That is a ladder. That's a step up. So I can hold a 0 as I progress to a new point of a 0. What's the final message? Final message, please. Final message is hiding from me. Queen of Swords, so this is birthed from some mental energy. Feminine mindset energy, so this is like receiving. This I'm hearing, you need to go and read this shit that I've made. I promise you. If you are here at this point, why not like reward yourself with some shit? And this is some shit that you can really be like, damn, okay. I really understand what he's talking about. And so the compound currently doesn't have the addendum on there, but the other shit is already available. The addendum is just gonna have the Z9 aspects applied, but the personality type is what you need to know about yourself. So go give yourself some new knowledge and be okay with knowing that you can say, I'm gonna shut this shit down. But I recommend you coming back, because that's just one stage of you saying I'm gonna shut that shit down. And then if you rest and reset, you might come back with a different mind and be like, okay, I'm gonna shut this shit the fuck up, and I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna read, I'm gonna benefit. So there's different ways you can operate you, but learn how you can reset that. And how can we do that? By looking into us as the moon. So the subconscious aspect is what we're looking at. And look, 1, 2, 3, again, howling up towards a single thing. Again, the subconscious being reflected as the conscious, but because it's the subconscious and it's reflecting conscious, it's a mirror image that can get distorted if we don't understand what subconscious aspects is doing the distortion. So what that means for you is, if you don't know what kind of energy you're bringing to the reflection of you, if you don't understand what you're building, what you're crossing, and what you're building, and then what you're building, or excuse me, what you're destroying, what you're crossing, and what you're destroying, then what you're exchanging with, if you don't understand that, oh, exactly, you'll be put into this kind of 9. This 9 is the same exact 9 that most of us are in right now. This is, I am multi-time, Super Bowl champion, and I've been doing this shit for so long, and now I just don't know what else to do. So I'm a mentor, but now it's kind of getting tired, so I need to retire completely and jump shit and start a podcast or something, or join and become an analyst or some shit. That's like what this is. This is like Tom Brady becoming the GOAT in football, and then was like, okay, it's just about time to retire. And then he was like, nah, fuck that, I'm coming back. And then he won another Super Bowl, and then he retired again and was like, I gotta start something new. And his newness was sports analyst, and then owner of a football team instead of, or co-owner of a football team instead of being a participant of a football team. What I'm saying is, he still is around football. That's the major personality type here that we're seeing as the reflection of the internal. So we see him around football, taking action on football, but instead of being what we call a typical football player, which is the reflection of the light. Again, he loves football, and that's reflected as him as a player. That's the sun and the moon. But the moon is made up of these other parts of football that he loves, or a detail, topics. This is your thesis statement, people. School. Oh. So I got my thesis is my main sentence, and here are the parts of that sentence that make me up. And in this case of Tom Brady, that's going to be the sports analyst side, that's going to be the co-owner side, and that's like the mentor side of him. You know, he goes off and helps people, builds up the youth. So, this is what this 9 state is. It's just waiting for you to take yourself into a new position, and that's our final answer for today. Our final message, our final answer is for you to continue. You've already been doing this. So continue, Z9 continuum, Z9 continuum, Z9 continuum, continue on this journey of rearranging these emotional bodies with yourself so you can continue to develop the parts of you inside at different stages. And if you need help with that, I got books on it to help you see the stages so you can be all of the star inside of you. But the only way you can be all the star inside of you, if you take a look at the other parts of you, the steady side of you, the nurturing side of you, the conscious side of you, and the action side of you. It's just you, but now you know there's different versions of you. So don't look at you as just a you. Look at you as a you too. Square. So you can see all of you with no fear. Alright, people. Mr. Renew. Half this card is dark, half is light, man. And that's you. But it's all love. Alright, people. Peace.